John Locke Foundation is one of my favorite state think tanks around the country. You do fantastic work here.
I just want to say how much I appreciate the John Locke Foundation.
I want to salute the John Locke Foundation for its emphasis on free enterprise and common sense.
It's a real pleasure for me to be here, as it always has been, to participate in the activities of the John Locke Foundation. I have great admiration for this organization. John Hood has done a terrific job.
For 20 years, the John Locke Foundation has produced research, journalism, and outreach programs designed to advance the cause of freedom in North Carolina. We'd like to see our state strike a better balance between the public sector and private institutions of family, faith, community, and free enterprise. What's the John Locke Foundation's vision for the future? We envision a North Carolina of responsible citizens, strong families, and successful communities committed to individual liberty and to limited constitutional government.
The John Locke Foundation. John, if anything, you sounded modest about what the John Locke Foundation does. The John Locke Foundation is really a pioneer in this movement to set up state conservative think tanks in states. There are a heck of a lot more of them now than when you started, John, and they've really been one that the people in other states have looked to as a model. And some have done very well in using the John Locke Foundation as a model. And these state think tanks, particularly the John Locke Foundation, are really indispensable if you're a conservative. You want to have them because they provide so much information to legislators and journalists and so on, and just do wonderful work. So I'm a great fan of the John Locke Foundation.
Reporters often turn to the John Locke Foundation for insight and analysis.
Don Carrington of the conservative Carolina Journal has written extensively about a contractor initially involved in the marina deal who completed major renovations on Easley's home. Carrington also questioned a land purchase in the Cannonsgate subdivision in Carteret County.
You or I would not get an opportunity to buy the choicest lot.
Wow, you guys are really going too far too fast. Can we slow down and take a look at this?
Joe Coletti is the healthcare policy analyst for the conservative-leaning John Locke Foundation.
That she wasn't going to raise taxes. It's sad to see that she is going back on that campaign promise.
Kokai is pushing what a John Locke Foundation analyst calls the can-do budget.
Donna Martinez of the John Locke Foundation, good morning.
Would you advocate a reduction in taxes? You've got the forum right now to ask legislators.
Jeff Taylor with the John Locke Foundation, a conservative think tank, says more than likely we will experience 3 or 4 of those taxes.
Earlier, I had the chance to talk with Becky Gray. She's Vice President for Outreach for the conservative think tank, the John Locke Foundation.
You're either in the gambling business or you're not. And North Carolina chose to get into the gambling business with the lottery.
John Hood of the conservative John Locke Foundation says Salisbury is sinking millions into wires at the very time customers are cutting the cord, going wireless.
Michael Sonera with the John Locke Foundation wrote a report calling the convention center a money pit.
But there's more to the John Locke Foundation than media coverage.
The John Locke Foundation is one of the best organizations of its kind in the country, and I don't say that as someone who is biased toward North Carolina. By its work, by its efforts, its groundbreaking work in education, it has distinguished itself.
Yes, the John Locke Foundation has published groundbreaking research in education, tax and budget issues, health care, the law, the environment, state and local government. Locke researchers also speak across North Carolina, offering a free market, limited government perspective. They offer an alternative to the policies that insert government into more aspects of our lives. And there's more.
It's good to be here in North Carolina. It's great to be with old friends from the John Locke Foundation, which I really do think is one of the best, maybe the best of the state think tanks in the country, and does such important work here in North Carolina.
Another part of that important work is Carolina Journal, which focuses on news that doesn't get covered anywhere else. Government corruption, programs that don't work, wasted tax dollars. Carolina Journal exposes them. People inside and outside North Carolina notice. The John Locke Foundation is doing great work, and your fame has preceded you. I think a lot of the efforts that you mount are very important, especially in the current policy debate. And organizations like this are especially important when all of the powers that be, if you will, I realize this is a nonpartisan audience, but all the powers that be happen to be of one political faith. The John Locke Foundation employs unique tools in advancing the cause of freedom. The North Carolina History Project focuses on the founding principles that helped build this state's prosperity. The E.A. Morris Fellowship Program focuses on developing the skills of emerging leaders. The North Carolina Education Alliance is dedicated to fundamental reform of the state's education system. The Faculty Affiliate Network works with professors and college instructors who understand the importance of personal liberty. Locke Foundation bloggers reach audiences in communities across North Carolina. The John Locke Foundation's internship program employs undergraduates, recent graduates, and grad students performing a range of tasks.
I want to congratulate those of you who are involved in the John Locke Foundation. Ideas have consequences. You sometimes get the idea that in a place like Washington, D.C., or a place like your state capital, that everything is dominated by special interest. But I want to tell you, it is ultimately ideas that define special interest. And the person who controls debate, the person who ultimately coins new ideas and new vision, is the person who determines the outcome of great debates and the future of great nations. And since we live in the greatest nation in the history of the world, and since each of us love it and want to see it prosper, I want to see us dominate the debate for ideas in America.
To learn how you can help the John Locke Foundation win the debate for ideas in North Carolina, contact the John Locke Foundation Development Office at 1-866-JLF-INFO. That's 1-866-553-4636. Or write to development@johnlocke.org. This has been a presentation of the John Locke Foundation.